You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us. Did you miss me?
I always miss you.
I miss
all the
you
time. All the time. Like, what is Heather doing right now? I wonder what Heather's doing. Probably driving.
And yet you never reach out, but that's okay because I don't either.
Because the first answer is always probably driving. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to bother her while she's driving in New Jersey. She could die. So
I mean, ye have little faith. I feel like you should really worry about the other people.
She could kill.
I mean, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I am. I'm thinking of how I would feel if I were driving behind you and you were like, "Oh, a text from Natalie," and you slowed down 30 miles immediately because you're so excited, and I rear-ended you.
Yes,
and the irony of it all, because I was one that
life
texted
stops
you.
when you message me. I know it's so hard. It's so hard. Well, you know, we got to spend some time together, and then we had like a whole 3 weeks off. So it's like, we lived together for 5 days while we were in Massachusetts, or 4 days, or whatever, and then we like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. But there was a holiday. Like, we had a holiday. There was things happening.
We did. We had the old Thanksgiving, which is the one holiday I sort of celebrated as a child. And that was because turkeys were on sale around Thanksgiving. And my grandmother said they were too expensive to buy the rest of the year. So that was our excuse for celebrating.
Also, they're huge. Like, you got to cook for at least 8 people if you're going to buy a turkey.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So it was like, well, they're on sale. So this is the only time of year we can have one. And also you have to come over because it's like you said, it's for 8 people. So you have to come over to grandma's house and we have to like have this quote unquote Thanksgiving dinner, not Thanksgiving. So it was never my favorite because it's kind of like, oh, the one holiday you get to celebrate is like, let's sit around and wait for a heavy meal to be finished cooking. What?
It's my holiday I get. It's my ex's favorite holiday because he plans his naps. Like, he'll eat his first course and then he'll nap on the couch and then he'll come back for dessert, eat way too much, and then go back and nap again. So for him, it's like the most boring holiday ever. And then he eats everybody's leftovers for the rest of the week. So, yeah, but for me, I've always been, I guess it's just really about like getting together with family. Right? Like, it's just another excuse to get together with friends or family.
Yeah. I mean, which is not something I used to really look for an excuse to do.
Yeah.
But it sort of perked up now that my sister's family's in Florida and I'm in Florida, my parents are in Florida. So we actually all got together at a lake house that we rented. And it was kind of amazing. Now we all want a lake house.
I mean, who doesn't want a lake house? That sounds really cool. That sounds awesome. Really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, dare I say, almost a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. Oh, and it had a great moment, which I'll share with you. So on the first night, I said, right, let's go out with flashlights and look for alligators. And
very Florida Thanksgiving of you.
Yeah. I made sure we had flashlights so we could go look for alligators because we're on this huge lake.
Yeah, go look at the eyes. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So everybody tramps outside. We're like, yay, we're following Natalie. We're looking for alligators. I'm a cool aunt. And we didn't see any. We're very disappointed. No alligators, so odd. And then we shone the flashlights on the beach of like the house next door. And there were all these little lights. And I said, isn't that interesting? Wolf spider's eyes reflect like that. But why would the beach be covered with wolf spiders? That's silly. And Corey says, oh, maybe they're crabs. I said, oh, I bet the beach has tiny crabs on it. Let's go and look. So everybody goes tramping over to this other beach to look for the crabs. And then I say, hey, there's lights right next to you. Shine your flashlight straight down so I can see. It was all tiny wolf spiders. The whole beach was covered with hundreds of times. I mean, they were all like, a foot apart. It wasn't like it was a mat of
God, this is a
hysterical.
horror movie.
They were so little. They were the size of a dime. Everybody started screaming.
Natalie, Natalie, what the hell are you doing to people? You're like, I'm going to take the one holiday that we have and I'm going to traumatize you with it for the rest of your life.
They were so little. I think it's important. These kids.
They still have teeth.
No, they don't have teeth. Spiders don't have teeth.
Whatever, they're fucking fangs. Whatever. They have fangs. You know what I mean.
Wolf spiders catch like cockroaches and eat them. They're good.
Wolf spiders are venomous.
Not to people.
I mean,
when's the last time you heard of somebody getting bit by a wolf spider? Never. It's never. You can pick them up and play with them. I know people who do.
I'm not saying
literally.
You're picking the thing that I am most scared of and like chucking it at me right now.
No, I would never. Pick up a wolf spider, but I know people who do.
I have actual nightmares. So one of the things that happens to me when I'm overtired is I will sleepwalk and sleep talk. And every single time, I have a dream about a spider coming down from the ceiling in the dark, trying to sit on my face. Mm-hmm. And I wake up, run for the lights, and start combing through my bedding looking for the fucking spiders. Okay? Literally my worst nightmare.
Yeah. I've told you about the house that I lived in when I first moved to Ocala, right?
I don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you for sure now. But I had nightmares about that house for many years. One time I left that house and drove to Jacksonville, which was 2.5 hours away. And I'm not going to tell you why, except that I needed to be out of that house that night.
Why is every word out of your mouth a reminder of like why I don't like Florida?
It's Thanksgiving, baby. I'm just here bringing the holiday vibes.
You know what I'm grateful for? Not living in fucking Florida. That's for sure. I would much rather encounter a snake, an alligator, bats, whatever, anything
I see those every
but
day.
Spiders.
I saw 2 snakes yesterday. Both were adorable. Yeah. And I saw a gopher tortoise.
I'll be the first one to go pick up a snake as long as it doesn't have a triangular head. Okay?
Yeah, I do have those too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, mice, like all of that, they're fine. But spiders are not fine. And actually, we did have a tiny spider incident in our house because we live by the woods. Nothing compared to what you had because, Florida. But Cameron went to go take a shower. So for our Thanksgiving, we didn't have a wolf spider incident. What we had was 40 degrees and downpouring rain. I'm talking monsoon level raining. It gets worse because Cameron had her last football game of the season, which meant that, and it was the big game for the rivalry game for Thanksgiving. So I dropped her off at 8, sat in my car for an hour with the heater on, and then from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. sat in the stands in my Iceland rain gear, getting poured on and trying not to shiver. And so when we were able to leave, escape, whatever, flee, we ran home and we were like fighting over the showers. I was like, oh, it's your sport. You can get in the shower. I was being really nice. A spider jumped out at her while she was shampooing her hair. And we found her in her room covered in soap, crying hysterically.
Oh my God.
So that is how our Thanksgiving started.
Wow. So this really, I don't think either of us intended for this to be the Thanksgiving spider episode, but here we are.
It's weird how we share kind of like. We do. It's where you live in a multiverse where we live on like similar timelines here.
Yeah, it's Spider Week, baby. That is so funny.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was weird. So, yeah, but I mean, I'll take that any day versus it's a small, tiny house spider as opposed to, and, a beach full of wolf spiders.
So little. It was so little. They couldn't hurt you.
Do you understand? It doesn't matter how big they are. Sometimes when they're small and you don't see them coming, you don't see them on you until it's too late.
Yeah, I do know that.
Right?
I do know that.
And, I don't like having this conversation because what's going to happen is my TikTok is going to pull up the Huntsman Spider algorithm.
No, that's not okay.
I'm going to have to see all of that shit. So, we better shut this down, okay, before I literally have a heart attack.
Well, that being said, the first thing on this very merry Thanksgiving spider episode that you're grateful for is not living in Florida. Well,
That's very true.
Suck it. I'm grateful I do live in Florida.
Way to copy me, okay.
I am wearing long sleeves. It was 28 degrees this morning.
Mm.
And it's like 55 now. So my house is cold, even with the heat on, because it's a mobile home and they're always cold.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But at least it's not 20 degrees right now, or ever.
It does get warmer throughout the day, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And how are the horses dealing with the chill? Because
they love it. They love it way too much. Except for, I put on their blankies and I have to chase. I didn't grab Manny by the mane before I tried to put his blanket on, which my head is not in the game tonight. So I had to chase him around before I could put his blanket on because he hates wearing a blanket. Mm. And then Ben.
It's like trying to put clothes on a naked toddler.
Yeah. And if, I did raise a toddler in Florida and they forget about cold weather. It's a funny thing about toddlers. So years ago, Calvin was little. He was like 4. And I had to literally like pin him down to make him wear long sleeves. He was like tearing at them. He did not understand how sleeves could be long. I'm like, it's cold outside. It's cold outside. He's like, no. In his memory, he'd only ever worn short sleeves.
Oh my God.
I know. So funny. Yeah. So I went to throw Ben's blanket on. And before I threw it, a little intellectual, like questioning voice in my head said, if you throw that, will one of the straps maybe land on the fence and frighten him? But it was such a little voice. And
Your intuition spoke and you did not listen.
One of the straps went onto the fence. He went, oh, and I just stepped back and just let it play out. I was just
Nothing
like,
else you
okay,
could do.
All right. So then I had to like stroke him and let him sniff the blanket and maneuver himself so he felt comfortable again and then slide the blanket on. So that's why I was late. Because I'm
you're fine. Well, so the other day, I was all excited because I had I guess it was a couple days ago, I actually had the opportunity, wait for it, to go to the barn. Like amazing, right? I mean, who knew? They remembered me. My horses remembered me.
That's sweet.
And of course, I miscalculated because my only day off was on the day where it was like 40-mile-an-hour gusts and the temperature had dropped.
Mm.
So I go to the barn and my daughter and her friend were there too, and they were going to ride and they're getting all their horses together. And I was like, I'll go get the boys. I go outside and my boys are great. Like I bring them in together all the time. Fire-breathing dragons. I mean, screaming, galloping, rushing the fence. They had their halters on, and they never leave their halters on unless they're a little wild. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to bring them in separately so I don't die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get dragged or whatever. And then I brought Delight in, who was actually the better one, and he's the big boy with no personal boundaries. He was great. And Ferris, I hear screaming and galloping in the fields because God forbid he gets separated from his brother because now, it's them against me
in
the world since they never, It's not really the wind. It was more like, the temperature dropped and everyone's going to get fed and I'm going to get left behind. And it was just insane because normally they don't give a shit about the wind. So I don't know what was in the air. Something was in the air. So I bring them in, everything's fine. And then I go to help my daughter and her pony, they go and get on. And then I'm helping the friend get on her little horse that she's riding. Horse is like rearing in the stall while she's getting tacked up. I'm like, maybe I should lunge this pony for you before you get on. And I lead the pony out. And the 2 horses in the paddock outside the barn were wild. Like full wild, thoroughbreds gone wild. And the pony was just like, absolutely the fuck not. She's screaming, she's rearing in my hand. And I'm like, you know what, Riley, who's like 12 years old, I'm like, you don't need to ride this pony today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I choose life. And then I said, I'm going to put her back. And I want you to go get Zoe, don't run, and go take her off that pony. Because I was like, this is escalating into a situation where like this might be a horror show. So no one got to ride that day.
Yeah. I'm looking at the weather every day going, am I riding this week? And this is what happens every winter. Is I look forward to riding and then it's too cold.
Weather.
It's too
Thin
cold.
weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, I've got a bonkers, way too happy horse to deal with. And we don't get anything done because it's like, don't be a rocket ship. Don't be a rocket ship. Like, what is the point? Why am I doing this? I could
Well,
be
that's
doing literally
yeah.
anything else with my time besides, trying to avoid rocket horse.
Trying to stay on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
So.
boys definitely love winter. It's nice because I don't need a spur and I don't need a crop, which I do usually need 6 months out of the year. But I'm so out of shape. Like I've ridden maybe once a month the last 6 months. Like
Yeah.
I have a handful of times. I get sore after getting off a horse now.
Mhm.
And it's pathetic, okay? But, it's temporary while I
Yeah.
go through this divorce. Like, it's temporary. Things will get better and they will be greater than before. But for now, I don't want to, I'm not strong enough to hold on
Right.
when things go bad.
Right. You can devise a plan when there's time to devise a plan, and then
Right.
you'll be able to safely ride.
Yes, I feel like I must
ride.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some groundwork. And I'm gonna have to do some yoga and some stretching and some anything. I mean, but I'm gonna have to work my way up to being able to sit that kind of situation. So, while I'm very happy and I will even say grateful that my horses are happy and healthy, all right, and clearly not missing me at all, because they're definitely doing well together. They have each other. They're very, very bonded. More so now. I mean, they're always happy to see me, but at this point, I'm basically a stranger. They think they've probably been rehomed at this point.
You come visit sometimes, but mostly Barn Mom is mom now.
Right. I visit and then I groom them. I might massage them or whatever, but walk to graze. Get on? No, what's that? Who's got the time?
Yeah.
So, half the time my daughter has a lesson. I don't even get to stay for the whole lesson. I drop her off and come back and pick her up because I got 3 other kids that I have to drive somewhere for something, And yes, I only have 3 kids. Somehow I have an extra kid during the week. I have to drive somewhere. I don't even know who it is. They randomly show up in my driveway and they're like, Mrs. Wallace.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
They heard you just drive kids wherever they want. Their parents are like, go talk to Mrs. Wallace. Because
or they just,
I don't have
pop
time.
up in the car.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start putting air tags on these kids. I told my daughter the other day because she's doing cheer because we don't have enough on our plate during the week, and now it's 5 days a week that she has cheer, and it's at the same time as everything else. I'm like, and you're gonna have to make friends who drive.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm supposed to do this.
It's crazy. Like when Calvin was doing band things, like competitions for that, we would have to drive him. Like, oh, it's in Kissimmee, so it's gonna be 40 minutes. Like, we all live in the same tiny town.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 30 other kids, and all 30 of us have to drive separately to Kissimmee? Make that make sense to me. How are you not capable of organizing carpools?
Or a bus.
What is going on? No, we all had to drive down there and sit for 2 hours while 15 bands play. Not my thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't understand. School sports are completely out of control when it comes to schlepping all over town.
It's
that's
just
not
a
even
lot,
if they were doing a travel game.
Well, it's no, this is at her middle school, but
right.
I mean, it's her last year, and I get it that she wants to do this, and it's until February, so yay. But we all have stuff, and you're adding in something when I've already got a very carefully curated schedule. Okay?
Right.
I'm already organized. I've organized this shit to death. I know where I'm supposed to be. I know the timing. I know all this. And so you're just going to throw this thing in my lap. Those were the days where I would take Zoe to riding. I would hang out. I would see my barn friends.
Mm-hmm.
I might cuddle one of my cats there. I'd groom the horses. I wouldn't have time to ride, but now I'm just lucky if I even get to pick her up.
Jeez.
or I'm calling in a favor from a friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. I mean, I'm in it right now. Like, I realize I'm not trying to wish the years away, but like, I am so overwhelmed.
No, I get it. And I really do think the organizers should be sending these guys home with sheets with phone numbers and addresses and be like, here's how we're going to organize carpools for you guys. Like,
Oh God,
not
that sounds
just
like
a
dream.
question of courtesy, but a question of taking cars off the road, taking work off of families' plates. Like, you're not the only one with 3 of them. A lot of people have more than one that need to be schlepped all over town and have jobs. Hello. So, yeah.
It's insane. And you know what? I almost want to. This might be an idea. Maybe the best way to get me to the barn is to organize a carpool for me. Someone who's picking me up, and then I can't say no because they're showing up to my house.
Yeah.
Whether I'm dressed or not. And they're just
Ooh.
being like, let's go, bitch. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it works because I've had that happen where
Yeah, with your trail ride, right?
Right. Where I'm like, I'm not leaving my house ever. And somebody's like, well, I'm at the end of the road and you better get your horse down here. I'm like, shit. So it does work and you will have a good time. And you might fall very far behind on your book deadlines. And get it over your head with some stuff. But it does work. And so, yeah, maybe adult carpooling is the accountability that we all need to get us to the barn. Have we just invented something?
It might be a really cool idea because I think yeah, I have the best intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many days off, although I am trying harder to balance that again. But I don't have many days off, and then you add in all the kids' things, and then by the time I do have a day off, I'm so burnt out from the week that I could barely get off the couch.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like it's
and then
your
of
day
course,
off. It's not to go do more work at the barn day.
Right. I don't have to brain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to work. I don't have to get dressed and put on a bra. Like, you want me to ride without a bra? First of all, I would hurt myself.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, I guess no one would care. I've done it before, I'll be honest. But
you would get a black eye.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've shown up to the barn without a bra, 100%.
But if you ride, it's very dangerous.
Absolutely. I could really hurt something. So speaking of, there was so this is the anti-grateful thing, I guess. I was having a day. So the week before Thanksgiving, so a full week before, I was having a day. I was feeling the stress from the kids. I was feeling the chaos from work, and I had so much stuff to catch up on, and I was just coming from 2 back-to-back events, and I showed up at the barn to drop off Zoe and her friend, and I was wearing let's just call them Costco sweats. Okay. They weren't even matching. There was it's men's sweats. They're super bulky. Might have had 2 different shoes on. My hair was up. I don't recall. All I remember is walking in with a checkbook and being like, just take my money. I don't know what's happening. I was a gremlin, a full on unhinged caricature of myself. And then the next day I wake up and I was like, well, that was a really shitty day. And then I got dressed really nice and pretended like it never happened.
Rock bottom.
I was like, ooh, I wonder what impression that made. So yeah.
Well, as long as you come in checkbook first, they don't care.
No, and it's my best friend runs the barn, so she's not really surprised by anything I do. And she just hugged me. She's like, you need a hug. And I'm like, I really do. I really needed a hug. And I love that about her because she also doesn't give me any grief when I haven't been there all week. She doesn't make me feel bad because she knows that I've got so much on my plate right now, emotionally and physically. And I'm so grateful for a great barn family, because there's a lot of barns out there that would absolutely talk shit about you for not showing up regularly or looking like a gremlin. And I don't have that. And I'm really, really lucky.
You are. Yeah. Toxic barns are, we've talked about them before. I think we have a whole episode about toxic barns.
We could write the whole season about those.
Yeah. I think we've talked about doing a podcast season or series that is simply what people say about their barns. So soap operas with horses for sure. And you have a lovely barn family. And I'm jealous of your barn family. I wish I had it.
I know. One day you'll come see it because it's so cute. What happens is we had a couple of them come back from, my little barn rats come back from college for the holidays. And they'll be texting me or I'll show up and they'll run over and give me a big hug and they'll tell me all about college or like even the younger ones. Like now we've got all the middle schoolers. It's a new group of kids like barn rats in training. And they're all like following me on TikTok and like they're like so cute and I just love them so much. And you know, it's a great family. Like of course there's drama sometimes, but it's so like healthy and sweet and lovely. And I mean, it took me a while to find that. So I hope everybody out there knows that it is possible to find your place in the barn.
That sounds so nice.
And if not, you create your own like training. You did.
Yeah, my barn rats are my cat, who absolutely loves to go out and feed with me in the evening. He like waits. It's like, Mom, are we going out now? It's really, really funny. And then he chases me and he goes out and hangs out on the hay bale while I'm doing stuff out there. And then I walk back to the house for something. He's like, are we going in to eat dinner now? He runs after me. And then I turn around and go back out and he's like, oh, we're going back on the field. So my cat is my barn rat now. And it's pretty great.
That's cute.
It is so cute. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. But I keep having to take him off my horse blankets. Like,
oh yeah,
like, buddy, I need those. It's really cold. And he's like, well, this is where I sleep now. No.
Yeah, he's like, there, I am cold. That's why I'm sitting on it.
Yeah. Like, you were on my bed all day. You could sleep there. I need the blankets.
And they're furred. Like, buddy, you got to man up a little bit. Like, you've got hair.
Yeah. I know, he's not used to being cold, so he's like a toddler, too. I have a farm full of toddlers who can't handle when it gets cold. I don't want to be warm. I want to be cold. Wait, I don't know what I want. And then they just start running around. So it's funny because, you know, we're talking about how our lives mirror each other. So my little barn cat, you know, he's like my little special snowflake. He has half a tail and no teeth, you know, but he's my guy. And the day that it was windy, I was bringing my horses in. He's all black. He was pouncing around like a Halloween cat, full arch, just hopping everywhere, chasing me. Like, and then he wouldn't, he's one of those guys where like he yells at you until you sit down so he gets to jump up in your lap. And I mean, but he was chasing me like that. Yeah. Propping. Bring, bring, bring.
And I was like, what is wrong with everybody here today? Like, but it was really cute. And then he was a little sassy, like, you know, but barn cats are the best. I even told my niece, I was like, you know, if you ever feel like he can't survive on the farm anymore because he's the no teeth, I'm taking him home with me. Like, just FYI, he's mine.
I met one like that from somebody that I'd known forever. And I bought my farm truck from her. And when I drove down to get it, she had this ancient cat in her barn in her backyard, and she's like, oh yeah, this cat has been at every barn in the area. She moves around. She's like, I don't know, 25 years old or something.
Oh my gosh.
Like that. Like, she was so old. She's like, yeah, now she lives here and sleeps on this chair. That's her whole deal.
That's goals right there.
Oh, barn cats are, what a happy race.
They really do. Like our other one, Tay is her name. It's, you know, sister. She's a hunter and she'll just literally walk around with mice in her mouth, showing them to us and then running away. You know, and she's like, look what I got. Okay, bye. Mm-hmm. You know, and she's just like so proud.
Glasgow's definitely, he's the type that will bring it in and be like, I got it. And then he'll put it down.
Let it go.
And off it runs. I'm like, did you just bring a mouse into my house and let it go?
Yes.
Yes?
The answer is yes.
Brings in grasshoppers, all sorts of stuff. Oh,
I know. Cats, they're tiny little serial killers.
They're so sweet.
Oh, so I guess, are you grateful for your little barn rat then?
Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful for him. He's such a little monster and I love him so much.
Oh my God. And you didn't used to be a cat person. Look at you. You've been converted.
You know what's really odd? Like, we had cats. My whole childhood, I always had a cat. Like, the cat that I had, like, for when I was 10, I think he made it to 18. So I knew that cat well into adulthood. I don't have memories of those cats.
Trauma?
I don't.
PTSD?
I remember my dogs, but I have very little. I can't remember the cat ever being in my room. Like I knew they were indoor, outdoor cats. Like we always had the cats, they went out, they wandered the neighborhood, they came back. But I really, where did he sleep? I don't know. It's so strange. I can't remember at all.
That also says a lot about you as a teenager. It's like, well, if it's not me, I guess I don't need to worry about it.
I don't know. It's really weird. I almost don't remember being a teenager, which is good.
Also trauma.
Yeah.
That's not great.
It wasn't great. What can I say? You've
had a very happy adulthood. And we'll leave it at that, right?
Yep. Yeah. But having the whole cat thing, I'm grateful for having a husband who's like my sort of animal patrolman who stops me from just having as many animals as I want, because I would have I would, every time I go to the feed store, I'd be like, well, got 3 more cats, it was just, I've got 18 dogs and 30 cats and 6 horses. Like, it would be so easy without somebody to keep me in check.
I go to a dog show, I'm like, I love this breed. I need this breed. When are you having puppies? When are you? Is the list filled? Is there a wait list? No, I have 3 dogs.
Huge dogs.
Huge dogs. And I don't have room in my car for them anyway. Mm-hmm. But then my Zoe, my little farm kid, comes up to me and, I'm like, check in with them. Like, how's things going with the divorce? You guys good? Nobody wants to talk about it. But you know what they will talk about? Hey, Mom, I was thinking when you get your new place, can I get a pig? A pig.
A pig?
Really?
Did you tell them you were buying a homestead? Like, what?
I'm like, where do you think I'm moving? And also a pig. Like, first of all, I don't eat pork because pigs are really freaking smart. And yes, bacon doesn't count. But like a pig, like they get huge.
Yeah.
And she's texting me now. She's probably asking for a goat, which I am willing to consider.
Like, you don't have enough chaos in your life. You need to add a goat.
Right. I love goats. Okay. Goats are like little mini chaos machines. So it would be basically like, planning for my future. But I have 3 dogs and I don't know where I'm going to fit them in a new little house. I don't even know if I'm going to have a fence. So like maybe a little early to plan, my friend. But I like where so they're no longer allowed to tell me what I am and am not allowed to have. Basically, once the divorce is final, all gloves are off. And the only thing keeping me from getting 1 million animals is the size of my house.
Right.
So you better hope and pray I don't find anything.
Oh,
this
no.
will get real hoardy in here.
That is 100%. That's how I would be. Like, last week we were at Tractor Supply and there was a beautiful foxhound. And I was like, if we weren't going to Thanksgiving in a few days, I would have no excuse not to just throw that dog in my truck. No excuse. And I did try to do a little research on the dog after I went home anyway.
Yeah. That again, not to bring it back to the dog shows, but like I get to go and I get to see some of the most amazing breeds in the world, some of which you don't even hear about or ever see in person. And what's funny is like I completely fell in love with this one dog and he's a common breed. When I say what it is, you're going to laugh hysterically, but his name is Squid and he's all black and he's me. Okay. Like we have the same personality and I need one. Like I need one now, but now means that like I have to wait until 2 of my senior dogs are gone.
Yeah.
And then Coda's all alone. But do you want to guess what breed it is?
He's all black? Is he
He's
a lab?
black. Not a lab.
Okay.
Small and spicy.
Oh, small and spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A Scotty?
I never would have thought I would have picked this breed, but like I am in.
Don't say
a
it.
Pomeranian.
Oh, God.
I'm so in. He and his sister are like the cutest. And I told the owner, I was like, I need you to find me one when I'm ready. And she's like, oh, I will find you. Like she'll bring him over just so I can have snuggles with him. Even if I'm not working on him that day, she will bring him over so we can have snuggle time. Like he is the best. And this comes from saying like, I love big dogs. Okay. I've only ever had big dogs. So I never would have thought like a pom would have like a prissy little pom would have been my thing. But like No, they're small and sassy, and I kind of dig it. Plus, they have great hair. I'm not saying that's what we have in common. I'm just saying it's not.
Since I'm well on my way to stealing your hair crown.
I see you're showing off your curls today.
I am. I'm trying to figure out how to mute my whole family chat is blowing up right now. I'm like, damn it!
I don't hear it.
I'm seeing it on my screen, and it's making me crazy.
You got to do not disturb.
There it is. I see it. They changed the icons on Mac, and
the new updates.
No, it doesn't show up like it used to. Would you just get on the screen? Don't. There we go.
Is this what it sounds like when you're trying to write?
It does, because they start the second I open any file to start writing. My mom and my sister are like, and they're off. And I'm like, guys, I gotta mute
there's
you.
Any group chat I'm on, I hide the alerts and I just check in like once a day. Like, yeah. I ain't got time for that.
I'll never check in. Is my problem. I'll just vanish. But yeah, my curls, like, this is just my hair just drying on its own. But yeah, the girl at the salon showed me how to get it like fully curly, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take it down. With
I almost didn't believe it.
Gorgeous curls. Yeah,
look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's an actual phenomenon.
It is a phenomenon. I am a phenomenon. You may have heard.
You're a feminine. Wait, was it a phenomenon?
A phenomenon. A slurring phenomenon.
That is a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
But no, your hair looks good. And I've noticed because of the curls, it's given you confidence to like take your hair down. So
it's not so heavy. Yeah, It was just really heavy before. So she cut off a ton of hair. It's like all gone. Bye-bye. So it was really funny because when I was going, like, I didn't want to make an appointment for the longest time. And then I didn't want to go. And I told her straight up, I told myself, I don't want to get my hair cut because who sees me? And she looked at me and she's like, you see me. I said, I know. That's what I told myself to make me come. I'm like, I see me. But I had to convince myself that me seeing me.
You literally have a video podcast for the Patreon. You're on social media all the time. Yeah. You're going to be doing a book tour. Like, a lot of people are going to see you there.
I kind of thought I would just wait till I did the book tour and then get my hair cut. But I did it, and I was so happy I did.
See,
but self-maintenance does not come naturally to me. I like to take care of horses and animals in general, and I like to take care of barns. But things like houses or myself are just not interesting to me.
So there was first of all, I have a housekeeper because I ain't cleaning shit.
Yeah,
but there was like a good, I'm gonna say 5-6 year like span where like I didn't do more than basic human maintenance, like bare minimum, like showered when I needed to, washed my hair if I had to, like didn't get my nails done, no waxing. Like I literally was like I given up, right? And I had realized, I don't know, maybe a year ago, that was bullshit because I was really putting myself last on everything, and like it was so easy for me to just style my hair or throw on some makeup or, and it made me feel better. Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm really focusing on coming into, the next, I guess, season of my life is putting myself first. And that just means self-care. Like I've been doing my own nails at home, and learning all about how to do that. I've been doing the vibration plate. I've been really just trying to. I did a cool thing the other day. I am grateful for flotation tanks.
Oh,
I got to do a floating, like a sensory deprivation float tank.
Wow,
it was an amazing. Like it was. I cannot describe. It felt like I don't think I moved for the entire hour. Like the water. Like once I'd settled in the water and I shut my eyes. I was so relaxed. My brain maybe shut off after 10 minutes. I lay there for 50 minutes in a trance.
That's wild.
Just floating in a sea of like just mindfulness. Like I turned my brain off for the first time ever in my life. And I got to do this like once a month.
Mine
it was
doesn't
amazing.
Turn off. I don't know about that. I think I might have a panic attack from
not
even from the space.
Right.
from too much Natalie's brain is the only thing in operation right now.
So what the guy said was, and so this was like a wet room. It was an open bath, and there was a blue light in the bathtub that you could turn on or off if needed, right? So you could have it completely off. But you have earplugs in, so you're completely just floating. And he said the coolest thing, which, this sounds new agey, but it really was true. He's like, the tank gives you what you need, right? Sometimes you fall asleep. Sometimes, you count backwards and go into a meditative state. Sometimes you end up like having these weird lucid dreams. Like it gives you what you need based on. So I just thought that was really interesting because apparently what it needed for me was to turn my fucking brain off. Like
Yeah.
it's always running in 1,000 directions.
Right.
But I've been so rejuvenated the rest of the week. Like I got 3 chapters written in my new book. Things are good. Did I get to the bar? No.
Maybe you could get like an annual pass to this deprivation.
Yeah,
it's just weekly go
like a
in
monthly
and be
membership,
cleansed.
and you can choose like different things. So, I don't know if I could afford to do it once a month, but I think it was a really cool reset, and it was definitely something that I want to do again.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to get a massage.
Whatever self-care looks like.
Yeah.
Massage is great. I will say I do that regularly, and I do get chiropractic because with my day job I get a little broken.
Yeah. I've never had a massage, so I'd like to do that.
You've never had one?
No.
Not even from Corey?
Well, I mean, I guess, but not like a massage. Like I'm gonna lay
like
on
a professional
thing
massage.
and somebody's gonna beat the hell out of me.
You need to. No.
No, I haven't.
First of all, there's all different kinds. You don't need someone to beat the hell out of you unless that's what you're into.
Maybe that's what I'm into. I mean, do we want to go there?
You're into. I go once a month. I go to like a relaxing kind of Swedish massage with like energy work, and then 2 weeks later I get deep tissue. So every week I get some form of body work for my mental and physical health. And I'm pretty sure it's the only reason why I'm still functioning and alive at this point.
That's interesting. Every week. That is self-care, girl.
I've worked it out. Again, I took some time off from that, but I worked it out. So I have 2 clients. I work on their horses and they work on me in return. And then my business partner is a chiropractor. And so I work on her dog and she works on me. So it's free. It's all free. So that's why I can get away with it.
Maybe I could just like read somebody a story for an hour and they could give me a
make them a character. Make them a character in your next book. That gets
too complicated. I'm worn out with making people characters. But if I could just read to them, like, here's something I'm working on. And they'd be like, thanks for reading to me for an hour. And then they could give me a massage. And that would be my best chance at bartering at this point. Because all of my other skills have like atrophied to the point of uselessness.
Maybe you can make an only pause account for Glasgow.
Oh,
and then he could his only pause account could pay for your massages.
His little milk toes on only pause,
the little toe beans. I mean, I would pay to have a membership to that site if it existed.
I was going to ask you if it existed. It sounds great.
I don't know if it does, but I think it's a great idea. And if it doesn't, I'm trademarking that shit right now verbally. Okay. No, but self-care is really important. And so I think what happens to me is like, once I take care of my body, then my brain follows. And I'm working my way back to being the person I can mentally be with my horses. Because mentally, I can't be with my horses right now. And I'll tell you right now, this is very raw for me, but I'm so like emotionally drained. And horses and spending time with my horses specifically is my therapy. And so I've had to kind of step back and disassociate a little bit from them because I just am not strong enough to face everything I need to face all at once.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I've kind of been hiding from that. And it's not healthy. I know it, but I'm working on my physical health and all that background stuff in order to be capable of that as I come out of this personal life lesson.
You're
handling
handling what you can handle and setting yourself up for the next step. Those kind of things. Absolutely. Phases, man. Yeah.
Exactly. And I do, like, when I have been able to ride, I've loved it and I say thank you and everything, but like that quality time that I'm always really grateful for,
Mhm.
I've been purposely kind of avoiding because I don't think I can function right now if I were to have it. I would have an actual breakdown.
No, we don't need horse-inspired breakdowns because
Yeah.
then you end up blaming them and that gets complicated too.
Right. And which is not their fault. You know, it's just I'm my truest self with them, right? But it's like
Right.
I don't think I'm ready to face all of that yet. So I've and luckily I have people who understand. But it's nice to just get there and kind of do surface level shit and things like that. But I'm just going through the motions at this point. So that way I'm taking care of my physical health. So when I'm ready, I'll be back better than I was before.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I
'Cause
understand
I will
that.
be back.
You'll be back.
You know.
They're right
I
there.
will.
They're waiting.
They are, and they're such good boys. So is there anything else that you're grateful for before we wrap this up into adulting wins? Because I mean, I feel like this whole thing is kind of an adulting win, right?
Just being here is an adulting win. But
With me, you're right.
with me, even.
special.
But you know, like, just like you've got people that are on your team that are taking care of your ponies so that you can take care of yourself. My farm sitter, I would do anything for her at this point. Anything. Like, she's freed me up so that I can do things like go visit with my parents for a couple of days, which is really nice, or get away and go to Disney for a few days because I've been working so hard that I'm losing my mind and I never leave the farm. And just like, I always see these snotty little comments online where somebody's like, oh, yeah, if you have horses, you'll never leave again, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, no. If you just put those feelers out there and find the farm sitter that you love and then treat that person like the gold that they are.
Oh, yes.
I am just
Lots of gold.
She sends me amazing pictures. She takes care of everybody. She checks in regularly. And I'm just so thankful for my farm sitter. I will do anything for her.
Oh, that's amazing. I think when you find the right people for your team, it's priceless. Yeah. Hold on to her. I say the same about my farrier. Like, I always say when I see him, I'm like, please don't ever leave me. Like, you know, I'm one of those. I'm like, what can I do to show my appreciation? That's, you know, and he's in a relationship. It's not like that, you know. But I'm like, okay, you don't drink. What do I give you for Christmas? You want $500? Let's go. Like, you know, like whatever you want.
Yeah,
just don't leave.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll work with your schedule. It's no problem. You can't come? No, anytime. 2 weeks from now, anytime. I will be here. Like,
exactly.
One time she came while I was on a call, like a huge business call, and I could not get off of the call. And I was just standing there, like on the call, just mouthing things at her, just like, thank you for being here. You know, thank you so much for being here. And I couldn't gossip with her. And I love her little gossip sessions, but she's amazing. I love my farrier too. Yeah. My people.
That's awesome. Yeah, your entourage. Well, they're not really, but they're your people. And I think that's so important. I think as a horse person, you know, the one thing I love about the community is like it is such a community. It can be toxic as fuck, but when you find your people, it makes it so worth it.
Absolutely.
I think that's just like a good testament for life, right? Because not every friend you've ever had is going to be good for you, but there's going to be some like shining stars out there.
Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it? Everything's complicated, but every now and then some people make it not complicated. And then you're like, oh, thank goodness.
I know, right? And those are the people you want to keep around you.
There's not many of them, so be good to them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're one of my people, Natalie.
You're one of my people.
Even though you're trying to steal my hair spotlight, but that's fine.
Yeah,
My
I can't
ego
help
can
it
take
because it's part of our like good bad aesthetic.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you've got the really dark curly hair, and I've got the, you know, former blonde curly hair, and together, you know, I'm some reason I'm the good one.
Who's the bad one?
I'm usually the bad one, so that makes it confusing for people, which is better because I'm the bad one. So I want to confuse people.
I feel like we just switch periodically.
Yeah, it depends on the topic and my mood and many things.
Maybe that's what gets people coming back to listen. Is like, which one are they going to be today?
Yeah.
Keep them guessing. Well, I'm grateful for you, Natalie.
Grateful for you, thankful for you, and incapable of being sincere, so I'm putting on a silly voice. So
I know. I know you really love me.
I do really love you.
And you owe me for that spider story. I'm just going to tell you right now. I expect to have some kind of gift in the mail.
That really went wrong. Didn't mean for any of that to happen. The whole
So
conversation.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's what happens when we're raw, you know?
I'm going to need to go shower now and check my hair for any invaders. That's the one downside of having curly hair is you never really know what's in it. Wait, fun fact. I was sitting after a dog show. I went to a restaurant by myself. So I was just sitting at the bar having a quick meal. And I was like shoveling it down because I hadn't eaten in 13 hours, you know? And the guy next to me we weren't even talking. He turns to me and he goes, I'm so sorry. I don't want to embarrass you, which for the record, like, okay, like never been embarrassed. He's like, you have macaroni and cheese in your hair. And I looked down and sure as shit, right near my chest, right, I had macaroni and cheese in my hair and I looked down and without an ounce of hesitation, I grabbed it with my fingers and shoved that shit in my mouth. And I was like, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, I do prefer to pull my hair back when I eat. So
I do. Yeah, normally I do. It goes in a bun when I'm eating, but I was too tired to function. Okay, so like, I was just like, thanks, sir. No friend left behind.
I don't know when I'm gonna see food again.
Yeah, but you know what I did have is that margarita was in front of me, and I didn't spill one drop of that shit.
No,
okay?
I'll bet.